Hi guys, and welcome to this video where I'm going to show you how to set up and run an ad campaign within Google. If you've watched the last video, you'll have seen that I basically advise you how to search engine optimize your WordPress website. A lot of the tips in there were relevant to any website, not only if you have WordPress, but we just did the walkthrough in WordPress for you. But that's important for the long term, the kind of search engine optimization angle, to grow your profile within the organic kind of results within search engines like Google. But if you're launching a website for the first time right now, the problem is going to be that you don't have a profile yet. It's kind of like building up a credit rating, in a sense, because when you launch, you're kind of a newbie. Nobody knows you. And Google doesn't know whether to trust your content. So it's going to take a while for that SEO to build on your website. It's important to have it there, don't get me wrong, but it is going to take a while for you to build the authority of your website. And bear in mind, the major rule of search engine optimization these days, it's all to do with content. It's the quality of the content that you write and provide on your website, and how much people engage with that, and that's really how rankings are worked out. So if your website, for instance, is getting shared a lot on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and YouTube and all sorts of other social media outlets, if it's getting a lot of comments on it, people are engaging with the website, you're going to find that your website rises up the rankings pretty quickly, depending on how competitive your industry is, of course. Some industries are highly competitive, where to the point where it's almost impossible to get up onto the first page of Google, but others are not. So it's important that you do a bit of research in terms of the keywords. If you'd watched the last video, I showed you how to research which keywords to target and why you should target low competition keywords in your industry. Reason being that generally the bid is less, plus you'll get your ad visible to more people because there is less competition and less people are paying for those keywords or bidding for the keywords. So if you didn't get to see that video, please go back and watch it. It's titled How to SEO WordPress Website. I'll take you through the research sort of phase for keywords and key phrases and how to do that, and that's important. So make sure that you're doing that. What I'm going to show you in this video is really just how to set up an ad campaign in Google, because I've got to say, Facebook is a pretty simple ad tool. You kind of get a simple page and you fill out the details and hit live and it goes live. Google's a lot more complex, and it even confused me for a lot of time when I started trying to run ad campaigns. I kind of couldn't find my my ads. I didn't know where to look and so on. So I'm going to take you through the process step by step, just so you can see what it's like to set up a new campaign, a new ad group, how to add keywords and negative keywords, and how to get instant traffic to your website. Because as I say, the SEO angle, search engine optimizing your website, is not going to really yield a lot of results, at least at the initial phase, if you're just launching your website now. Okay, so let's get stuck in. We'll start at the start. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is firstly get a Gmail account. If you go to Google and just sign up for a Google Mail account, it's free if you don't already have one. So just sign up, get a Gmail account. That just means that you can kind of run everything through that account. So you get access to your email, your Gmail, your AdWords campaigns, your Google Drive storage, all sorts of other things. Google have kind of linked it all up, so you can just have one login and get access to everything. In this instance, what happens is when you sign up for Google, that means that you can then sign up for an AdWords account. AdWords is kind of slightly separate. So once you sign up for your Google account, go into Google again and just search for AdWords, and it'll come up top of the list. Go through the process to set up that account and then log in for the first time. And when you log in, you'll be taken to your sort of home overview like this. That basically just gives you like a spit out of all your kind of recent stats of your ads that you've run. First stage is to go into campaigns then. And your campaigns are your overall campaigns. So you want to set up, say you're running multiple campaigns, or maybe you've got clients that you need to run campaigns for. You can break them all up into separate campaigns, and a campaign is the first stage. So make sure if you do have separate clients, put each of them into an individual campaign, or if you have separate websites, do the same thing. So say for instance we have here the Huddle and Total Website Blueprint. So put those into separate campaigns first of all. The way to set up a campaign is you just go to this big button here that says campaign, drop down, and then you want to choose whether you just want it to appear in the search network, display network, or both. Search network is literally when people go into Google and just search for instance, best website blueprint tools or whatever, or how to blah blah blah. So their search results will come up and they'll be highly relevant to that person based on what the ad runner, as we would be, has chosen to pick out as keywords to bid on. So that's the search network. The display network, you will have seen these things. I'm just going to show you quickly. Here's the Rolling Stone magazine. Display network basically means that these types of ads, like in sidebars and along the top of websites, as you have here, basically pop up. And generally they're relevant to the viewer. So if you pick a load of keywords that you want to be found for, Google will basically display your ad on select websites across the web to people who have been or are interested in those keywords that you are bidding on. So if, say for instance, I'm setting up a campaign about SEO services, I would set up a campaign and I would choose search network and display network, and I would create an ad that would appear in those banner ads that would be to do with, you know, affordable SEO services for small businesses or something. And I would pick out a load of keywords, which you can run from this little tab here. And then my ad would be seen by those people who are interested in that type of article or content. So it's a very, very specific, targeted form of advertising, which is the great thing about it. So that's search and display networks. Normally I would just choose both to go for. It gives your kind of broader reach. Basically if you click that, then you go into the campaign and name the campaign, tester one, whatever you want to call it. Then you choose whether you want standard features, keyword targeted text ads for search network with display select, or all the features and options available for search and display network. Oh, let's just do that, okay? And we'll rename the ad campaign. We can then, if we have other ad campaigns, we can basically copy the settings over. We don't want to do that in this instance necessarily. You can choose whether it's not only the Google search network, but also include search partners. So there'd be other companies that Google either own or are in partnership with, where your ads can be displayed. Devices ads will show on all types of devices by default. So whether you want them on mobile devices exclusively, perhaps you don't want them on desktop, or you want them on all devices equally, then you choose in that instance what your preference is. Then you choose your location. So if we want United Kingdom, you can do it that way. If you want all countries in the world, you can do it that way. If you want to specify the individual countries, you can do it in this way, and it'll, just bring up, you can go United States, Canada, blah blah blah. So you can just pick, if you have specific countries that you want to target or areas, then you can do that. So if you want to target people within London, for instance, then you can specify London. That's no problem. You can go into the advanced options as well and choose whether to target people in your current location, or people, for instance, people searching for or viewing pages about my targeted location. So people searching for London. Say you ran a tour bus company in London, and you wanted people, you wanted to target people who were, potentially searching for hotels or things to do in London. You would specifically target people who are actively searching for something related to London. So that's the way that is done. And then you can exclude people as well, and choose languages and so on. Then you need to set your default bid. The bid is going to be basically a cost per click. So if somebody sees your ad and they click on it, you will get charged however much you put into this box. Generally, you'll get to specify and you get to break it down by keyword later on, which I'll show you. But you want to set up like a kind of default cost per click. So you don't want to make that too much. You don't want to say, you know, cost per click default of £20 or $50 or something like that. So say for instance we put in a default cost per click of 30 pence, okay, and then you didn't want to go over a certain budget per day. So you basically can manage your marketing or advertising budget across a month or across each day. So for instance, if you say, right, I want to run this ad campaign for 30 days and I don't want to spend any more than £150 or $150 on that, then I don't want to go over 5 per day, and that just sets that limit. And once your budget has run out, they won't show your ads. You can up your budget, but they won't show your ads if that budget is set per day, and you kind of reach that ceiling. You can choose then how fast your ads are displayed. So you can say that you want them just all, your budget used up as quickly as possible to get as many clicks in as short a time as possible, or if you want to show ads show ads evenly over time, then you can select to do that. All sorts of different ad extensions here as well. You can add, link it with your Google Plus page. You can link it with a phone number. If you're a local business, that would be recommended that you actually, give somebody a number to call, and perhaps increase the social proof and the whole sort of trust aspect by adding in a Google Plus page and things like that. So have a read through those options and see which may be relevant to you. At any stage, it's always better to add something that's going to build trust. So a phone number generally builds trust, or something like a Google Plus page or something like that. Okay, then you can schedule your ad campaign. So say I'm doing this on December 20th. So I want to start it on Boxing Day. So I'll go to the 26th, and then I want it to run for basically until New Year's Eve. You can select those days, and then you can select which days it runs from what time. So say I only want it to run from 9 AM to 3 PM on all days, and I can just remove all the rest of these options, okay? And then if you want it display it, 24-hour, 12-hour clock, doesn't really make a difference, but that's an option there. Then there's a whole other host of different options here. You can do ad rotation, so you can optimize for clicks, show ads expected to provide more clicks, optimize for conversions, show ads expected to provide more conversions, rotate evenly, rotate indefinitely, and so on. And it gives you sort of recommendations. If you want to rotate it evenly, that may be appropriate if you optimize ads using your own data. So you're like kind of split testing ads and things like that. If you want to rotate indefinitely, then that's not really recommended for kind of startups. So perhaps not. Don't look into that. You can include a +1 button, which would be recommended. Google Plus button. Again, builds that kind of social proof aspect, is more likely to get your ad clicked on in that instance. And then, yes, keyword matching options. So say you pick a keyword like affordable SEO solutions, Sydney, Australia. What you want to do is allow for people to misspell things slightly, but then for your results to come up in the corrected version. So Google will suggest, did you mean affordable SEO solutions in Sydney, if somebody spelled something wrong. And that just gives your ad more of a chance to get up there for people who are typing quickly or not thinking about it or wording things in a slightly different way. So it's worth doing that as well. The last one then, tracking URL for dynamics. If you have a tracking URL, you can put it in there. If not, just forget about it. Then you just click Save and Continue, and that is basically your ad campaign created. You'll see it appears up here, Tester 2 at the top. Now within ad campaigns, you can set up different ad groups. So you can test out different ad groups with different ads and so on. So what we want to do is, we'll just call this ad group number 1. Then you want to create an advert, and you can do it as a text ad, which is literally just like a text ad you see on the right hand side of the screen here. You can create it as a dynamic search ad, or you can do it like a product listing, or an ad gallery and so on. We're just going to do a text one for now. So say for instance we are going for the whole SEO angle, affordable SEO solutions. Okay, and then you write a description. And it'll tell you when you run out of words on each line. And then you basically write an ad that you feel is going to attract people in to clicking on the ad and coming through to your chosen website or your chosen link. Then what you want to do is you want to display a URL. So we'll, in this instance, we'll go total website blueprint. Now, if you're displaying a URL, you've got to make sure that the destination URL is on the same domain. So it actually says totalwebsiteblueprint.com. You can do / landing page or sales page or whatever you want. But if you don't do that, if you put a different URL, a different website domain, Google will not approve the ad. So be careful of that. Then it just shows you how your ad will appear in different instances. And then you've got to select keywords. So what we want to do is we want to basically type out a load of keywords. So we can go SEO services Sydney, SEO services Melbourne, whatever you want. Best SEO businesses Sydney. If that's what if you're targeting a locale, that's the way to do it. So basically, best way to do that is probably just brainstorm it in like a Word document or Mac Pages. Just write out all your keywords and then just copy them in to this little box. Then you'll have an opportunity to add new ones based on Google suggestions. So if you go down, how to, this is actually showing us suggestions based on a different ad campaign. But if we go, we want to write different SEO ones, then they will suggest relevant search terms based on our initial kind of setup. So at the minute it's kind of targeting website creation. We can change that to just target, for instance, SEO or SEO for websites. Then at the bottom you've got your maximum cost per click, which we had said earlier. If we're happy with everything there, you just click Save Ad Group. And then this brings you up into your basically the management of each ad and each keyword. So you've got keywords running down here that we had just set. You can bid differently on them. Quite often, if this campaign were coming up, let me see, maybe just show you some others. So eligible. Nice. Okay, there's a good one here. So if we're bidding on different keywords, for instance, entrepreneurial ideas, entrepreneurial courses, you'll see here our maximum cost per click is set below the first page bid. So if we want to up that, what we can do is we can go, right, I want to really get up top, so I'm going to bid £1.50 for that particular keyword. So if people search for entrepreneurial courses, they'll find my ad, they'll link through to my website and hopefully buy from me. Similarly, if you want it, you can put in any type of value you want, as long as it's above the first page bid, and Google will allow that ad to be shown however many times. If you need to add keywords, you can do so at any time using the keywords button. So say we want to go best SEO companies. Actually, sorry, we're in the entrepreneur thing. So we'll go best entrepreneur training online. Add that. Estimate the search traffic. Not enough data, so that's quite an expanded sort of search term. So if we maybe shorten it to entrepreneur training online, then it says we could basically get, put a budget of £9 per day based on our maximum cost per click of 30 cents, and that would get used up and people clicking it. So they're basically saying, look, we know how many people are searching for this key term. So if you put 30 cents per click on it, we can basically run your budget down up to a value of $9.70 per day. And of course, if you up your cost per click, that will change, or if you change your maximum budget, things will kind of adjust accordingly. And then we can go over to the side and just click all the different keywords that we want to be added, like that. Okay, and once you're done, you just click save. I'm not gonna, because those are just kind of quick fire ones. Once then you have, I'll just show you, once you have created these keywords, it will either come up saying eligible, or just trying to see some of these ads. If you go back into the ads, there you go, you'll see it comes up under review for certain ads, and that just means that Google are currently reviewing the ad and making sure that it complies with all their regulations and so on. So if they say that was sitting there for a number of days and they hadn't got round to doing it, I would normally contact Google and just say, look, can you review the ad, please? And they'll review it. But there's, for instance, one of our ads about entrepreneur coaching and things like that. When you're running an ad, an ad campaign, you'll see that it basically shows your ad, the type of campaign it is, whether it's approved or not, which ours is, percentage served, how many clicks you've got out of how many impressions, and then what the click-through rate is, so the percentage rate of those two. And basically that's a very low click-through rate. So what I would be doing is going into the ad and tweaking certain words, changing the title, changing the text within it to hopefully up the click-through rate. And that's kind of the way it's done, because that's a very low kind of click-through rate. That just means that the average cost per click is 17 pence. That particular ad's cost us so far £3.82, and the average position on the page is number 2. So if we wanted to get to number 1 right at the top, we would probably go in and up our bid for that specific ad and range of keywords that basically allow that ad to be found. So you can see all those are currently below the first page bid, so you would then manage those and go through each of the ones that you really wanted to be found for, and maybe up your bid to above what they recommend is the first page bid estimate. Let me see now. I'm going to add extensions. It gives you sort of readouts of every week and month. You can go into your settings and choose it for see what mobile devices and things like that. The next thing you're going to want to do is potentially think about opportunities. If you click into the opportunities tab at the top, once your ads are up and running, basically Google will recommend certain opportunities to get more traffic, to get more clicks, to get better performing ad groups and so on. So you literally just click through into each of these and they'll say, look, we have a load of extra keywords that we can get you clicks with, so we can get you an extra 110 clicks per week at a cost of £38 per week. So if you wanted to do that, you could select all these, go with that, go save, and that will add that kind of combination to your ad campaign, and then you can do more like this and so on. Okay, so those are just suggestions that Google make, firstly to make themselves more money, so you got to be aware of that, but also to get you more clicks, to get more people to your website based on things that you perhaps have not thought about or considered when you're structuring your ad campaign. So it's quite a useful tool to actually go in there and just use their recommendations and see if that works to get more and more traffic onto your website. So yeah, feel free to do that. Then you can go into tools and analysis. You can see conversion rates and all sorts of stuff. Keyword planner, showed you that in the last video, where basically you go in and you can brainstorm the kind of keywords that you want to be found for, see what the competition is like within your industry, and then choose specific keywords. As I recommended before, with low competition is better. If you can find a balance between a keyword or a range of keywords that have low competition but a high search volume, so a lot of people are searching for them but there's low competition, that's going to be the best balance for you to actually get more and more traffic to your website, especially if you're just kind of starting out. That's the best way, most economical way to do it. Then you've got your billing and your My Account settings. You don't really need to worry about that right now. You can look into all that, but that is really the basic of the sort of basic settings of how to get up and running with a Google AdWords campaign and get your ads out there, get immediate traffic coming through to your website, and be able to monitor the success of those individual ad campaigns using the Google Stats package that they offer for free. So first things first, get your Gmail account, get your AdWords account. Once you've done that, set up a campaign, set up an ad group or multiple ad groups within that campaign, and then within each ad group you can add different ads. So if you go in here, just to quickly show you, our ad groups within all our campaigns are like so. Say, actually, do you know what, I'll go into the Huddle one. Ad groups are like so. So we've got entrepreneurial, entrepreneurs, entrepreneurship, and a couple of others. Okay, if I click into each of these, they'll all have slightly different keywords, or some of them will be the same, but the ads within that ad group may be different. So maybe we're testing out the success of certain AdWords or certain campaigns and things like that. Okay, so each of those have slightly different ads. This one only has one. It's under review at the moment, so it has not been released, so there's no stats related to it. But that's basically the way you do it. So you've got your campaign, then you've got ad groups within the campaign, and then you've got ads and keywords within those overall kind of folders, so to speak. And that's what always confused me when I started out with Google, was the difference between a campaign and an ad group, and then where do the ads go. So it basically filters down in that sense. Campaign is the overall campaign name. Within that, then you run different ad groups. Within each of those, you run different ads. And related to those ads, you select your chosen keywords using the Google Keyword Planner. So look, hopefully that was of help. Hopefully it showed you through the process somewhat. If you have any queries, of course, pop a comment or a query in the box below this video. There should be one there. If at any stage you want the full training that we do, which is literally website blueprint A to Z, from your domain to a live website to marketing the website moving forward, you can get that at totalwebsiteblueprint.com at any time. So again, hopefully that was of help. Do let me know if you have any questions or queries, and hopefully see you in the next video. Thanks.